Hey everybody, it's Mr. Schwartz. In this video, we are going to be going over the answers to the operant conditioning worksheet. This is to help you prepare for your operant conditioning quiz. So go ahead and pull up your operant conditioning worksheet, which looks like this. And let's go ahead and work our way through problems. Now remember, we've already done the first 5. Go back and watch the prior video if you want me to walk you through the first 5 answers. I'm not going to do these because we've already done them. Remember number 5, that's that tricky kind of odd one that can be negative reinforcement depending on or positive reinforcement depending on how you identify it. Okay, let's take a look at number 6. Mr. Demo stamps smiley faces on papers when students turn in excellent work. Okay, the behavior that's being targeted is turning in excellent work. Increases makes this reinforcement, and it is obviously positive reinforcement because Mr. Demo is giving a stamp. Number 7, after Javon was caught speeding, his parents took away his car keys for 3 weeks. Targeted behavior is speeding. Speeding will decrease as a result of punishment, and because they're taking away his keys, negative. Remember, negative does not mean good or bad. Rather, positive negative does not mean good or bad. Positive negative means something is being added or something is being taken away. Number 8, Thomas was sent to prison for 6 years after he stole a famous painting from a museum. Okay, we could say that obviously stealing is the targeted behavior that decreases. Now, this is obviously punishment, and we probably say it's positive punishment because Thomas Crown, you ever seen the Thomas Crown Affair? Thomas is given a punishment. He's given a sentence. He's given 6 years in prison. There's another one that you can say is negative punishment because what's being taken away is his freedom. But it's still punishment, and the targeted behavior is still stealing, and we're still wanting to decrease stealing. So again, depending on how you define it, you could say positive or negative punishment. Number 9, after saying the F word out loud, Carly has her mouth washed out with soap. I don't know if any of your parents ever did that to you. It never happened to me because I saw it happen to my older brother, so I learned my lesson just by watching. Okay, what's the targeted behavior? Well, obviously swearing or saying the F word. So swearing decreases as a result of positive punishment, given a nice bar of soap to chew on. All right, number 10, Mr. Jones, who's a very cruel teacher, one of those old school teachers. Mr. Jones mocks Brenna when she gets an answer wrong in class. I don't know how that's going to help participation, but hey, maybe I'm a better teacher than Mr. Jones. Anyway, the targeted behavior is getting an answer wrong decreases because this is punishment. Getting an answer wrong decreases as a result of positive punishment. So again, here we have one of those situations that's kind of like a double negative. The behavior that's decreasing, the behavior that's targeting, is getting wrong answers. Now, from Mr. Jones's perspective, he is trying to increase the behavior of getting correct answers, but he's targeting the behavior of incorrect answers. And so this is a key feature of operant conditioning is we don't want to punish unwanted behaviors. We want to reinforce the desired behaviors. So Mr. Jones would have a lot more impact on Brenna if when Brenna gets an answer right, he makes a big, huge deal out of it and gives her all kinds of praise and all kinds of reinforcement. All right, that's probably going to go to the next page. So we're on number 11. Jasenia gets an A on an exam that she studied extremely hard for. Well, assuming that Jasenia feels good about the A that she got, her studying will increase through Positive reinforcement. And what's being given to Yesenia? The A, yes, and the assumedly, is that a word? Assuming she also feels really good about the grade that she got. You know, the grade, the reinforcement has to be valuable to the person to encourage them to continue increasing the desired behavior. Number 12, Helen takes an aspirin whenever she starts experiencing a headache. Okay, so the behavior that's being increased is taking an aspirin increases. You see that? When she starts feeling a headache, she's more likely to take an aspirin. And what is it that is causing that behavior to increase? Well, we know it's a reinforcement. Is it positive reinforcement or is it negative reinforcement? Well, we might think that giving the aspirin is the addition to the scenario. That's the positive reinforcement. But it's not. You got to understand, taking the aspirin isn't the reinforcement. Taking the aspirin is the targeted behavior. So if taking the aspirin is the targeted behavior that increases as a result of reinforcement, well, what is it that is being reinforced? Well, it's negative reinforcement because what's being removed from the situation is the headache. You're taking away the pain of the headache, which increases the likelihood of you taking an aspirin in the future the next time you have a headache. Okay? That's kind of a tricky one, but that's why it's important to understand really the difference between the targeted behavior, taking an aspirin, and the reinforcement, in this case, the removal of headache pain. Okay? Number 13, Becky's parents buy her a new pair of jeans after she throws a temper tantrum in the mall. Okay, so what's the targeted behavior here? Temper tantrum is being reinforced through positive reinforcement. The buying of the jeans is not the targeted behavior. The buying of the jeans is the reinforcement. Targeted behavior is a temper tantrum. The next time Becky goes to the mall, she's more likely to throw a temper tantrum because she will be positively reinforced for it by having her parents buy her jeans. Number 14, when Corey makes a bad decision during a video game, his teammates yell at him for ruining the game. So the targeted behavior is making bad decisions. And, sorry, let's go back here. Temper tantrum increases because of positive reinforcement. Number 14, making bad decisions decreases because of positive. He's being given a tongue lashing by his teammates. Number 15, Avery gives her boyfriend a kiss after he brings her flowers on Valentine's Day. Okay, this would be positive reinforcement. The behavior of bringing flowers increases because of positive reinforcement of getting a kiss. Okay, and that was your assignment, was numbers 6 through 15. The last four, again, I said, are for your additional review, additional practice for the quiz. So let's go ahead and take care of those now. Anna receives an incomplete in the gradebook after she fails to make up her missing test in a timely manner. So the targeted behavior here would be submitting late work. You want to decrease the submission of late work. And this is hopefully being learned because of positive. Now, when Anna does turn in her work and she sees her grade in the grade book. Well, now we're going to be targeting the behavior of turning in your work on time. Turning work in on time will increase as a result of negative reinforcement, right? The removal of the incomplete is the negative reinforcement that would increase the likelihood of Anna submitting her work on time. But that's not the scenario we're looking at here. Here we're looking at the scenario where she hasn't submitted it. She has an incomplete. So she's being punished for having an incomplete. But this is also one of the reasons why punishment isn't as effective as reinforcement, because you're punished retroactively. You're punished after the fact. So when you're presented with a problem that you need to learn, it's more effective to be reinforced. But sometimes punishments and reinforcements go hand in hand. Number 17, Finn receives a spanking from his mom after he refuses to eat his vegetables during dinner. Okay, again, this is another interesting one. Because from Finn's mom's perspective, she is trying to get him to eat his vegetables. So we would want to say eating vegetables increases. That's wrong. That's not what's actually happening here. The actual targeted behavior here is refusing to eat vegetables. Refusing to eat vegetables decreases because of punishment. At least that's what Finn's mom believes. You understand that? The targeted behavior isn't eating vegetables. The targeted behavior is the refusal to eat vegetables. Again, if we wanted to target the behavior of eating vegetables, all we would do is simply reinforce every time Finn eats a vegetable. Or every time Finn makes an effort to eat a vegetable, we would reinforce that and build from there. Again, that's why reinforcement is more effective than punishment. I gotta hurry up. These videos have to be less than 15 minutes, otherwise they won't upload. So I only have 2.5 minutes left. So I'll go through these last three quickly. Number 18, when Kyle spends too much time playing video games, his mom unplugs the Xbox and takes the cord. This one should be fairly obvious. Targeted behavior playing video games. Kyle's mom wants to decrease it and does so through negative punishment by taking away the Xbox. Number 19, Dan receives a 98% on his curved exam during a college class, and his classmates refuse to talk to him. This is called setting the curve, which means that the highest grade in the class is considered an A, or 100. So if Dan got a 98 and everyone else got an 80, then the curve is only going to be increased by 2 percentage points. Whereas if everyone got an 80, then essentially everyone gets 100. So Dan is being punished by his friends while on exams decreases because of the positive, or rather the negative punishment of his friends stopping communication with him. Apparently his friends don't want Dan to do well. Number 20, Mr. Schwartz gives more attention to students who sit quietly in class. Well, I certainly hope for that opportunity to be in class with you sometime next year. This is sitting quietly is the targeted behavior, and it is positive reinforcement, giving of attention. Okay. Hopefully this is clear. The answers are here for you. If you want to review the video, here's page 1. And here's page 2. And that's about all. All right, please, these are kind of tricky. That's the point. It's also why it's important for you to understand the concept instead of just memorizing the terms. So email me, reach out, Mr. Schwartz42, if you have any questions. Peace out.